Let's begin. Let's begin. Let's begin.
It's my barmi journey. Time to get to know my dad's side of the family in Israel. And also a roots adventure to find the village my grandfather grew up in before the Holocaust. When we went through security in London, I had to take out all of my stuff, and I took out my bottle of contact solution, which had 16 ounces, 16 milliliters too much of contact stuff, so they threw it away. But I forgot about this water bottle that I had in my backpack. They didn't detect that. It went all the way through.
And what do we call a security system like that?
We call it retarded. Yep.
I'm Zoe, hi.
I'm Barack.
Hi, Barack.
Newest member of the family. Hi.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Cedar. It's me, Ron.
My name is Dan Price.
Oh my god, my dad cooked it.
I think Zoe, one of my 4 fabulous Israeli cousins, needed me to see the most religious place she knew, the local Luna Park. I get queasy just watching her ride on the monster string. The one place you have to go in Israel has to be Jerusalem, and my tour guides are Uncle Cole and Derber.
What are we seeing? What are we seeing?
Pretty difficult. If somebody tries to climb up the wall to break into the city, you can shoot them down. Put a little hot oil on it. Yeah, that's what I see. Hot water. We start off with hot water. Or hot oil hummus you can throw in there. Yeah.
Like badly.
Falafel balls. That'll get them off the wall.
1, 2, 3.
I can see who it hits. This is such bad parenting.
Down through the Arab market, toward the Wailing Wall, the hotel, and a little offline shopping along the way.
But for you, half price, 50 shekels. 50 shekels. Yes,
No, thank you.
I'll feed this cotton. 50 shekels, not much.
I can imagine myself, if I really want something, I can get it down to a really good price, but
You gotta really want it?
I didn't really want that one. No. There was a $10 for 3 at another place. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Take a close look at the ladder by the window. See it? It goes nowhere and is useless, but it has not been moved for 260 years. The ladder cannot be touched, not until 6 of the Christian denominations sharing the church agree. And they have not agreed on anything for centuries.
Underneath the altar over there's the glass, and then there's a rock with a hole in it. And you'll see people prostrate there. That's where, according to the legend, this is the hill called the Golgotha, where the cross stood. It's inside there. You can go and see people.
I know you want to see it again. Here it is, the famous ladder. Yes, I was coerced by my uncles.
Tefillin, if you're Jewish, tefillin.
I said no, and Derber said yes. And here is his payback.
Boy, on our way to the Dead Sea, we may have made a huge mistake ever leaving the car.
It's dimming, smoking.
The dry desert seems so forbidding and a very unlikely place for the last revolt of the Jews against the Romans. This massive cistern was their clever way of keeping enough water for a long siege. Rainwater would not go to waste and flowed into this. After being so clever about survival and holding off the Romans for 2 years, they decided to commit group suicide rather than compromise their faith. On the last night of the revolt, they held a lottery. 10 men whose names were picked had to dispense of the others. Then by lottery again, one remained to kill the other 9, and then himself. It is summer in the desert, midday, and the Romans have had it their way. So all I can think about to keep me alive is orange juice and water.
It's very rare that I get to see him. And we are going to do Shabbat together. We've rented a little Shabbat place. It's nearby Adelo's place, so maybe we'll see them at Shul.
I've only met him once before, and that was when I was a little tot. Too small to remember. Nathanael, my brother, well, half-brother.
יש לנו פה את כל האוכל. רואה אותך?
We stayed in a town where everyone keeps Shabbos, and Nathanael had prepared food and everything else needed for a quiet time. And I mean very quiet. I don't do Hebrew, and he does not do English. No soccer, no video, just us. Did I say quiet? Here, have a look at this. My beautiful concoction of pomegranate and 2 passion fruit that I found on the streets of, well, let's just leave it at that. I found these on the streets. And now for my highlight. Tel Aviv, beach, soccer, need I say more? This is a trip about my roots, and before we start the second part of our journey, a visit to the resting place of my grandparents. Grandpa Alan passed away a year after I was born, but he was a big part of my life, because he has made my dad the man he is. And 2 years ago, Granny Ellen passed away too. We will never forget them. Dad grew up in Africa, Grandpa in Lithuania, and I in the United States. It's the journey of our family that I've come to explore.
Ah!
You know what I'm going to do
What?
tonight? Well, actually, it's in the late afternoon.
Spit it out.
I will go to a cooking workshop. I think it's very important also for your father, because if you dislike the way he is cooking, he should come with me. Wow, סלק? מעולה.
רגע, הביא איתי.
מלא מלח.
Bring back the Trina again. Bring back that Trina again.
Vilna is a beautiful old city. My grandfather did his high school here, and it had been the center of Jewish learning for centuries before that. First, the tourist spiel. The cathedral square with the bell tower, Gademis's fort. He is the guy who founded Vilnius 800 years ago. When the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania were protesting their freedom against the Soviet Union in 1989, 2 million people joined their hands to form a human chain. Yes, 2 million people holding hands spanning over 400 miles. And that chain started on this spot, the magical stone.
3 times.
Thinking about maths?
That once?
That's one.
Yeah.
Fall over, the wish doesn't come true.
Twice?
No, that's 2 and 2. That's 1.5. That's twice. No discount.
Now your dreams come true. Wow. The magic tile is so popular, much more popular than any other place on this cathedral square. It was changed for 3 times in 10 years.
So today's Jewish Vilnius was not just sightseeing, which at one level it was an opportunity to see a city as our parents would have seen it, in that Vilnius is not a sort of a bombed city like Warsaw, where whatever you're going to see after the war has been reconstructed. This is actually what they would have seen.
The schmattes.
Wow.
Yeah, the name, handling.
Oh, keep it up there, Carl.
Damen Kleider. Damen Kleider.
Kinder.
We're in the large ghetto of Vilna, where they kept the Jews during the Second World War, and these were the rooms and the houses where they were cramped together, a few families in a room, and it hasn't really been repaired. You can see a fire was here.
Yeah.
And hasn't changed in the last 70, 80 years. Yeah. So we're taking a step back in history.
3, 4 families in like tiny little studios, little apartments. I cannot imagine the incredible suffering that people went through. I feel it. I feel it with such a heaviness, it's just something else.
This courtyard has been a source of anxiety for 150 years. From 1882, the guys living in it. We knew it.
Little spoken about, but Jews couldn't survive in the ghettos without sparkles of fun. One chessboard for the whole community. And that was their fun.
The Jew is on an inhabitant island and is praying the God to send him to synagogues. And the God is asking, why do you need 2 synagogues if you are the only person on the island? And the answer is, one synagogue I usually attend for Shabbat, and the second I never step in. And that is why here we had the same story. We had the same story. Jews, each small Jewish community had their own synagogue. There was Taylor's synagogue, Butcher's synagogue, water carrier's synagogue, there was synagogue of teachers, the synagogue of painters, and so on and so on and so on.
Yo
Until Hitler, Vilna was known as the Jerusalem of the North. But in June 1941, the Germans set up 2 ghettos in the old town for the Jewish population. And over the next 2 years, about 95% of the 265,000-strong Jewish population of Lithuania was murdered by the German units and Lithuanian Nazi collaborators. Dolhinov isn't a part of the world that has been occupied by Poland, Russia, Lithuania, the Soviet Union, and now, you guessed it, Belarus. Minsk has none of the warmth of Vilna, but it's very clean. You can only visit Belarus by invitation, and the currency is, well, astronomical. Yes, and so, Mom, I wanted to buy this for you, this canopy thing here, have a look. But I'm afraid it costs $5,293,600.
So are you going to buy it or not?
Yeah, totally.
200,000 ruble. I'm nearly 300,000 smackers.
522,500 ruble. That is a meal for a millionaire, that's what I think.
Along the way to Dolhinov, we paused for a quick look at the Stalin Line that was built after the First World War, all the way from near Finland to the Black Sea. It took decades to complete, and all for nothing. It never was used. The Germans just bypassed it through some gaps and snuck in their major offensive, heading straight for Moscow. And that was 1941, so after all the effort, the Stalin Line has seen no action. But that's okay. I'm sure every Belarusian kid needs to pass a test on this.
I'm feeling so unbelievably relieved that I don't have children that have to deal with the agony of conscription to the arse. Whatever we have going down in South Africa, we don't have that anymore.
Hello. Hello. It's like my life normal. It's normal. I mean, isn't this what life is?
Aren't you totally caged? Yes.
Where's the key?
They come from him, you and me, and brothers, can't you see? This is not the way to put an end to war. We've come to Velika, which is where Dad was held as a prisoner for one night only. So it's not a huge thing, but for him it was a huge thing.
He was 15.
The whole family. And he was 15 years old because he was accused of being Janek, who was a communist, and Janek took his name. Anyway, he was put away in the prison here for the night before he was taken over afterwards to Vilna to the prison there. But right next to where he was being held is this house, which doesn't have a front door, which is super weird. But what it does have is as its foundation, gravestones, Jewish gravestones from a Jewish cemetery. Check this out. See over there? This says Daniel Yoshav, and then rest in peace.
I've always grown up knowing the name Dolhinov. It's not as if it's a construct and I came across it late and it means nothing. I'd always known about it. A lot of the stories I've told Maxine, or Maxine and I have shared, have been slightly risque stories set in Dolhinov. So it's always been in my mind. It's never been distant. But I did think about the three Price children and what they would have said had they been there. And that to me was kind of the hero of the day.
So we're looking for the home of Alan and Anne and Leah. They had one of the only brick houses on the town square with the doors facing the square because they had a pharmacy, a drugstore, and so they had one door
for the store and one door for the entrance to the house. So we wanted to try to see whether we can find this house. Let's go. After so many years of talking about it and planning it and hearing about it, we finally arrived in the little shtetl Zoginov. And I think that is the Price family home. I think that was the pharmacy. I think that was definitely it. I bet there's a mezuzah on the door. And I'd be very interested to see if in the background there's a well. And it would be wonderful to think that that was the home where Dad grew up.
The pharmacy was no more. Not that one, nor that, not that one either. We needed help.
Africa.
Africa.
Тоже Africa.
America.
South America. You are Africa?
Yes.
You are. Israel.
Father from Vilhino.
I have already started asking him question about the pharmacy, and he said that there used to be a pharmacy, but now it doesn't exist because they built a post office there. He doesn't remember. Unfortunately, he doesn't remember names. But he remembers that this pharmacy was owned by a Jewish.
Where was the pharmacy? Can you point it to us?
Можете нас туда провести? Это далеко? It's not far from here, so if you want to walk there.
Stanislav's memory is all we can go by. According to him, this is where it was.
Seems like we finally found the location of our family home. Of course, now it's a post office. It was taken down and the post office was put up. And this was where the pharmacy was, and apparently that's where the house was. Neither of which still exist.
There is something very unsatisfying about finding another building erected on the site of Grandpa Allen's childhood home. If that really was the location, we still cannot be sure. But this is for sure the remains of the town synagogue, where a carpenter has set up his workshop. There were once 5,000 Jews living and meeting here, so this used to be a happening place.
Look. This carpentry thing. Yeah.
The Jews didn't have farms, so they used to borrow a little piece of land to plant the potatoes to grow, and in return they would give them the manure from their cow in the back to fertilize the ground. So here is part of our family's potato crop. This is right behind me here is the river where they used to swim in the summer, where we are now in the summer. They used to swim here, the men and the women separately, but normally completely naked. Very surprising. Come on, La, we're going further. Let's go. Let's go.
The highlight was having lunch at the river, because somehow I just felt this was the place where Dad and his sisters used to come and swim. He told us about the river, he told us about the swimming space, and you could just feel that it was a couple of 100 meters from where they lived, and this was what they would have done. They would have walked down this lane, down the track past the farmhouses to swim in the river. In my mind's eye, shtetls are all in black and white because the photographs are in black and white. They're grey, and you have a sense of depressed and winter and cold. And here, being here in summer and in glorious weather and in a good, Debbie used the word bucolic earlier. So it gave me a sense of a different life.
Yeah.
13 years after the death of my dad, he's bringing us together in a way which is so unexpected.
Yeah.
A place he'd never wanted to return to.
No.
And here we are.
We're going to the Jewish cemetery. There were 3. This is the one, I think it's the largest. And this is the one that's been maintained by the girls, the kids in this local school, who get sent money especially to maintain it. Doesn't look terribly well maintained, I've got to say. Already?
That's your great-grandfather.
It's amazing, that's just like on the first try. Natan Chefetz.
Natan Chefetz.
Nathan Ben David. Perfect. 1936. That's it.
That is amazing.
1959.
Just as they left, he came back to die.
Nathan was really the father figure for all his grandchildren. My great-granddad was often away in South Africa trying to make a living, while here in the old country, Grandpa Nathan took care of the pharmacy and even shared his room with the children, including my granddad. When the time came to leave, he was not well and he could not travel.
I think Nathan couldn't join in because he had health issues. I don't know what they were, whether it was heart or asthma or something, but he couldn't handle the trip. And when they left, he died of a broken heart.
Dad had lived in that village. Everything we saw there, he had seen much more than that, but he had never been to his grandfather's grave. And we, as the second generation and third generation, came back to visit his grandfather's grave, the grave that he had never seen. And clearly this guy was a pivotal figure in Dad's life and the whole family's life.
Saba Nathan, his gravestone was the closest to the gate, and it was the most maintained one, and it's as if he was waiting for us to come here, thinking that we traveled for such a long way, and he made it easy for us to find his stone. And it's a beautiful stone. Beautiful words.
Yeah. ושמו אחד לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה.
We're so fortunate that your family left in time to South Africa. Otherwise I wouldn't have my beautiful kids. Or you yours.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Banenu, Eimanu Masim, Aseh Imanu, Tzedaka B'Chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedaka B'Chesed, V'Hoshienu.
There are so many stories of the terrible atrocities of humankind in the Holocaust. So terrible that I'm speechless. Honestly, I cannot understand it. This is the wall where people, just as they figured out they were going to be killed, wrote their names and where they're from. And so here's Max Stern from Paris. And over here we have Max Stern. Svetlana played this song in the Panerais forest just outside Vilna, where 100,000 people were shot in these terrible pits. The Jews were imprisoned in walled ghettos and then transported to the killing pits until there were none left. While awaiting their fate, Jews in Vilna ghetto arranged a music competition. An 11-year-old boy, Alex Volkovsky, composed this Yiddish song as a lullaby in order to confuse the Nazis. Sadly, many of the intended singers were killed before they could compete. But Alexander and this song survived and made it to Israel, where he became a classical pianist. There is always hope.
Wie die Bäume grün beneite, leicht
mothers and fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize what you can't understand. You're something you always beyond your command. Your old word is rapidly aging. It's not a phone. Breeze it out when you want to get ahead for the times they are changing.
I have a phone. Zip it, Lord, just play.
Well, it is when you turn from boy to man, according to what every Jewish person says. So it's important, but it doesn't necessarily feel like anything.
Your English is very good.
English?
Yeah, you speak really good English.
No, very good English.
I speak English.
What does it say?
Cedar, Eli Price, with all our love, and your bar mitzvah, 18/5/2015.
I like that.
Your aunts and uncles and cousins.
I'm so sorry that we aren't there. We would have loved to have been with you. And your father has asked me to tell you something that I would have liked to have known when I was 13 that I didn't. I've said that this would really annoy me to have known this, but nonetheless I'm going to tell you anyway. I would say that I hope you have fun. That life's not so serious, which is not what people would expect me to say. But life's not so serious, and have fun and do all the things that you want to do. Travel if you want to, take breaks when you want to, and those are the things that you'll remember most. Yeah, and you will give my hug to your siblings. Okay. Big one.
It's okay.
Come. No one can shoot anything. There's nothing inside.
I really need to hold that.
Cedar, I never knew when I was your age that you have to fail to know how to get up. I remember when I was really small, I got A's and everything, and then one time I got I think a C or something. I was like, oh my god, I'm not excellent anymore. And then, from then, a B was excellent for me. So you have to fail to know how to get up.
Think positive.
Yeah, think positive and always be happy. Because everything is always gonna be okay. That's my thing. I always think like that.
One thing I learned over the years that there's nothing like family, and especially brothers and sisters. My sisters are my best friends. We do everything together. We even have a group on WhatsApp. We talk to each other, and we even got a sister tattoo. Don't do that. My mom was pretty upset, but you know. But when friends come and go, but family is forever. So nothing is stronger than blood.
We'll always be able to find time to spend together as a family, and we hope Cedar grows up to be a real mensch. A mensch is like a Ben Adam, a person, a good guy, always thinking of other people, doing good things for other people. And we're all very proud of our boy Cedar. Yes, he's becoming a real man, this guy.
He's got a great sense of humor. He's got a great laugh. I think he's a fantastic older brother, and I'm going to miss him. If I think back on many of the decisions that I made, I can't tell you how important it was to have the knowledge, the knowledge that I'm supported by 4 completely committed, dedicated, devoted, unquestioning love of 3 brothers, who would be with me through thick and thin, knowing that whatever happened, however things worked out, I could fall back on their support.
What I've come to realize in my old age is that life is not fair. There's no such thing as equality. People born equal. Kids are trying to flee their countries to get a better life. That's not fair that they're born into that situation. And a lot of things in life you're going to see that you're going to say, hey, that's not fair. Why should he have that and I can't have that? Well, that's the way it is. You just got to deal with it and play by the cards you dealt in your life. And you got pretty good cards. You got good cards dealt to you. So you just got to appreciate that and try to do the best with it.
One of the first things that I saw of you on this trip was you have your own money, and that's amazing and independent. And I saw you taking of your own money, which you didn't have much of, and giving to a few of the beggars here in Lithuania on the side of the street, and then quietly rejoining the group and not bragging or trying to be proud about it. There will come a time for you when there are more important methods of activism than charity, and I encourage you to use those opportunities, but it will always come from that same place, and it'll be easy to lose that, but I encourage you not to. Mazel tov.
I hear Max. I hear the echo.
He has my advice. Don't forget to breathe.
Cedar, my boy, when I was C13, I wanted to know how the woman's mind worked, or maybe the woman's body worked. And I'm still trying to figure it out how their mind works. It's a big mystery, you know. They say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. I think probably women are from Pluto, a little further away. They're just a mystery, my boy. Women eat through their ears. You tell them beautiful things, that they look beautiful, and this, oh, their dress is divine. Oh man, they'll love you. Doesn't matter what as long as you tell them good stuff, doesn't matter how much you're right or wrong, they feed through their ears.
Hair and clothing is one of the most important things. You must always look good.
So just remember that. If you got anything negative to say, you just bite your lip, boy. Count to 10.
You're very smart and you're gorgeous. You're a gorgeous boy, so I'm not worried about you at all. Don't worry about picking your life career at age 13, and if you get to 20 or even 23, 24, don't worry about that. It's all going to fall into place in the end, because if you follow your heart and you think of your future, you must always think of your future, at least, I would say, 5 years ahead.
So Cedar, I know you're passionate about soccer and you want to be a professional soccer player, and I think that's wonderful. Remember that life is long. You'll probably live to be 100, you'll probably work until you're 80, and so you'll have many careers, and you'll change paths, you'll change careers a few times. Maybe you'll have 4 careers, and you'll be a soccer player, and then you'll be something else, and then you'll be something else. I think the important thing at the start, when you're starting out at life, is not to put all your eggs in one basket only, and not to think that you'll be a soccer player your whole life, but to recognize that you will have many careers, and if you're going to prepare yourself at all, it's to have a general education, general preparation, so that you can move from one to the other.
If I was Cedar, I would start now saving for college. I hear he's a very good babysitter.
First of all, happy bar mitzvah. 13 is becoming a man by Jewish law. At the age of 13, if I had the option, I would have saved my money in a good investment. I would use my family's knowledge they gathered over the years and invest it somewhere smart, so in the future I'll have a little bit easier life than I would have now. I can always work at something I like and not something I need to do just to get money.
If I would have known then, when I was 13, that I'm loved unconditionally, it would give me enough confidence to behave truly and authentically in the world. And now I know that my mother, for instance, loves me unconditionally, even though I make her crazy sometimes. But she does, and it's a great feeling. So I wish you, Cedar, to walk in the world knowing that your parents love you unconditionally, whatever you do, however you behave. That's my blessing for you.
Know that you are important and that you bring a gift and that you have a great contribution to give to life. And that's what I would have wanted to know at 13, and I almost think you know it already. If love would come and touch me on the shoulder. He was 16.
Well, that's how you did it.
Face.
You make it sound so strange. If love would come and touch you on the shoulder, that's what you would do.
It's actually tap you on the shoulder.
And look, I got a pocket full of stars.
Right.
Catch a fun.
There you go. Quickly.
Being an elder sibling is a great blessing. Use your gift wisely.
I think one of the things you have to remember is to be tolerant of your friends or your good friends, because everybody's got their failings. And I used to just write people off if something about them bothered me. And I learned with time that everybody has their assets and debits, and if they're good friends, then you tolerate them and hope that they'll tolerate yours. And I'm so happy that I got to spend time with you, because I'm mad about you. So happy birthday.
Stool there. Your sample, just a little sample there, you don't have to bring the whole thing.
It's a blessing, specific blessing, to thank God for keeping all of our orifices, all the holes in the body open, because once they close, then you're in big trouble. There's a lot of chemistry there inside. Things are happening all the time, fermenting, rotting, and as things ferment, they produce gas. And hopefully we'll have many days and months and years together releasing these pollutants from our body together. Mazal tov.
Start Ricardo's asleep, past shadows dark and deep. My mind dances and leaps in confusion. I don't know what I feel like.